Atul Rai is back with us. Atul, I hope you can hear me now. But I think what we're discussing is where Indian startups or where Indian AI startups really will find that niche or make their place when you compare them. Of course, there is the big investments that are needed, and which is why it's an important question to understand where do startups really figure in this picture, because you already have the bigger tech names, be it Wipro, TCS, or even Infosys. All of them are already focusing or making sure that they're focusing on AI, and that's what they're giving out to their clients. So, where do Indian startups then figure out if already the incumbents are taking that role ahead? So, how will the startups really find their place?
So, first of all, of course, I mean, when you talk about AI is not LLMs. Of course, LLMs are now becoming synonyms of AI, but this is not true,
Yeah.
right? Of course, what happened in the AI, we started in 15, and since then, I've seen that a lot of things got innovated in the AI. It started from the CNN, which is like convolutional neural network model, which was actually object detection or facial recognition kind of a tech. It started from that, and now it's basically trying to understand or generating the content which is more like a human kind of a thing, and that's where people are feeling bit fear, because now you cannot differentiate whether it's an AI or it's a human, right? But let's go to the fundamental. If you talk about data, we have three different kind of a data: image, video, and text. Audio, and images, right? These are the fundamental AI. So far, you talk about ChatGPT is targeting the textual data, which is the 30% of the overall content on internet. And in that also, it is just targeting mostly the English or maybe some of the other languages, right? So
Right.
of course, LLMs are good for the large data if you have, and that is where these companies or ChatGPT, Microsoft, Google, they have the, of course, their power, because they have that data pointers, right? But the way, I mean, it is being done while they're using transformer models, it can use only for the textual data. 70-80% data is there which is in form of audios and images, and that is where new AI models need to be created. That is one. So second part, whether someone can create a chat GPT kind of a tech in India or not, I think it can be done, but it is not the way they have created. They had huge data, at the same time they had a big transformer model which is capable of training on those data and learn from that. Maybe a new AI will come which can learn from a smaller data, a very basic model which do not need $1 million or $100 million kind of a funding. So, I mean, of course, when you want to reach on moon, you don't want to make the highest building more higher, right? So, in
Right.
that way, a re-innovation will be happening. Maybe someone will use some new model, not the transformers, to create that kind of accuracy. So, I mean, in that way, we as a country have that capability because we have such a huge data. We are second largest country in the world with the data pointers, right? And with
Right.
our own manpower which we have in India, we can create those data which we can use to curate the AI models. Because in the long run, what will happen? Let's say you will see the whole internet having the content created by AI itself. And there is a fundamental research which says if you train an AI model with the AI data itself, it get confused. It will become, of course, useless and less accurate. So in that way, we also have that capability in the future where we have a large human liver over here in India, which can also create or teach our AI model to become more accurate. So, being an Indian company, we see there's a huge opportunity. That is one. Second, of course, the new models or new kind of a new age AI will come even more accurate, but with the limited data, and a lot of research papers already in the public domain, and people are trying. So, of course, I mean that is kind of a like I can see that kind of a thing going to happen in the Indian AI research era, and that is
Right.
what happening currently.
Right. So Atul is quite optimistic. He's seeing the opportunities, and yes, of course, there are opportunities. Even Sam Altman came back to clarify that he was only talking when it comes to that kind of funding that is around it. But let me pose a question to Gaurav as well. Are Indian startups ready to take on these bigger challenges? Because if you already have your incumbents, if I have to call them a Google or Microsoft, all of them tying up with the other bigger tech majors here to be delivering services. Where will the Indian startups then who are into AI, where do they figure it out in the scheme of things?
Uh, I don't think incumbents will really pose a very, very big challenge, because you also have to understand that a lot of AI which is being built will pose the fundamental question on the viability of the incumbent's business model as that is today. So there is someone who is going to build disruptive tech which probably can make engineers a lot more productive than what a services company offers as of today. Anyone, not specifically taking any names, or can make BPOs, KPOs more optimized, or can do any of the other tasks which each of these have been doing, right? Medical labeling and so on and so forth, which a lot of companies do. There is a massive space where startups can build. With all of this new intelligence coming in, and like Atul said, say multimodal models coming up, uh, a lot of existing business processes will get disrupted and will cease to exist the way they are, and more optimized workflows will come up. Those more optimized workflows, in my opinion, will be built by a new player rather than a player who is trying to guard their existing business. Existing businesses usually push for 20% efficiency, not more than that. A new player can come up and say, you know what, I mean, all you need is 10% of what you have been doing so far. That's where the startups will come up and innovate, who will challenge how the things are being done as of today. Uh, there will be space for new product companies. There will be space for new services companies, because we like it or not, a lot of consulting will go into AI transformations for large businesses, which incumbents have perfected over years and years.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But a lot of product space comes up, like what we do as a business. We optimize customer support, and we call it a BPO 2.0, right? There will be more companies who will do it, and they will say, you don't need a BPO. You probably can do it with 1/10 of the workforce which you have. And that will happen across the life cycles of the workflows that large businesses run. And that's where the opportunities are.
Right. So then, should we, the bottom line then coming back to, should humans then be afraid, and is AI really going to take over our jobs and take our lives? I think that will be an unending question for now that we leave open ended to answer. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for giving us your time. Let me get in one last word, perhaps, from all the three of you. Anurag, any comments that you would like to take from this? Where are we seeing AI startups heading from here? What should they be looking forward to be putting out, so that the world's eyes come to Indian AI startups?
No, I think the most exciting thing to see from here, looking forward in terms of AI startups, is how are the existing businesses, existing services, existing products evolving, right? I think AI will become a flavor in all the tech solutions that we see today. So how does that evolve these solutions? What do the next generation of audio apps, video apps, images apps, all of that look like? What do the next generation of SaaS look like? I think that's the most exciting thing to look forward to because of this AI revolution today.
Right. Atul, your last words, any comments on how you see more startups getting into this field?
So I'm very optimistic in Indian startups. I can see, I mean, when we started in 15, very few startups were writing research papers. And I've seen like a lot of papers are now, a lot of research papers are coming from the startup ecosystem. So I see, I mean, Indian ecosystem is getting more mature in the AI. And that is basically the power or that kind of a strength we are building. And I believe this could actually disrupt the whole international or global AI model, because we have the data. At the same time, we already also learn how to create IPs and how to create new AI models, and that is what I believe India will. That is where I believe India will lead this whole thing in near future, and I'm really optimistic for that.
Right. So I think we can end this chat on that optimistic note, because Sam Altman obviously didn't think that we were capable of it, but we do have those capabilities. It will take its time and efforts for it to actually come out and shine. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time. Atul Rai, Anurag, as well as Gaurav, thank you so much for speaking with us here. And to all our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you, Shashi.
Thank you.